Hi friends in Artland, welcome to the Sebduke Show. The show where we talk about art marketing and mindset. My name is Sebduke and I'm an artist and art marketing consultant. I'm here to help artists like you market your art to reach the right audience and enhance your mindset in order to become more productive and efficient in whatever tasks you tackle. Twice a week, I bring you inspiring and practical advice to help guide you on your path to artistic greatness. And I do this because I truly believe that all art deserves to be seen, starting with yours. Monday episodes are for mindset advice to start your week right. Friday episodes are for art marketing advice so you can start your weekend with fresh ideas to work on. Now, we're about to start episode 11, the 4 pillars of content creation. I wish I could tell you that taking quick pictures of your art with your smartphone and then just adding the title's piece and the dimensions in your captions is enough to make people care for your art. And then, of course, buy it. I really wish I could do that. Life would be so easy for everyone. But if that were the case, then there would be no need for me to host the Sebduke Show. Yup, then you could just take quick pictures of your art with your smartphone, write the name of your piece and the dimensions in your caption, and just write DM me for price, and boom, you'd be fine. But the thing is, you gotta do way more than just create art and push it to your Instagram account. Not only do you need to create art that people will enjoy, you gotta be able to create content in order to contextualize it and help people enjoy it. You gotta take great pictures of your art, but you also gotta talk about your art in captions. But at the same time, you can't be too promotional when you're talking about it. Otherwise, it's gonna sound like you're a little desperate and that will turn people away. Reality is, I know you're trying to sell your art. You know you're trying to sell your art. People who follow your account know you're trying to sell your art. Everyone knows you're trying to sell your art. So wouldn't it be perfect if you could always write, "Buy my art if you like it," and have the money as a caption? But no, we gotta come up with crafty ways to talk about our art. And that's not easy. I mean, creating the art itself isn't always the easiest thing in the world to begin with. On top of that, you gotta come up with ways to present it in a way that makes people feel something. That's quite the challenge. So today, we're gonna talk about content pillars. And I promise you, today's episode is a good one. The kind of episode where I'm telling you, I think you should get a pen and paper so you can take notes whenever something connects with you. Now let me start by saying that content ideas are really hard to come up with. But they're really important because that's how we communicate with our followers. No content, nothing's happening. And people's memory span on Instagram is so short. Unless you show up repeatedly, it's going to be really hard for them to remember who you are and care for you. You gotta be top of mind all the time. So not only is creating content important, recurrent content is extremely important. Now, I can't emphasize enough how important content is. Because you're competing with so many people at the same time. It's so easy for people to find content providers they enjoy, whether it may be art or anything else. You're competing for attention not only against other artists, you're competing against every other segment of every market that exists out there, from fashion to food to fitness to clay teapots. There's an ongoing onslaught of content that people actually sign up for. They decide they want to see more of it. Because that's what a sign up or a follow means. It means, I like what you do, and please show me more of that thing you do. Then afterwards, it's up to you to uphold your end of the deal, to keep on showing them more of that thing you do that they like. But it's really difficult for artists to create content on a recurrent basis. So let me help you with that by introducing to you the concept of content pillars. Okay, first things first, what's a content pillar? I like to think of it as a structure that helps you create content that will meet the basic needs of your ideal follower. Content pillars make content creation easier. They avoid overly repetitive content. They help show you understand your audience, and they provide you with recurrent content ideas. For us artists, there's 4 main content pillars. First, inspirational posts. So that's content that makes sure that your followers understand your journey and want to be a part of it. Second, there's educational posts. That's content that helps your potential customers make the right decisions. Third, there's sales-driven posts. That's content that gets you the sale. Most people hate sales content, but people are actually okay with it if they believe it helps them on their personal journey. So yeah, we'll talk about that. And fourth, there's the seasonal posts. So that's content that comes back on a recurrent basis, regardless of who you are. Think of calendar-related stuff like Christmas, Halloween, New Year's, or seasons coming back on specific days. So those 4 pillars are all content pillars that you can leverage. So let's start with the first content pillar and let's talk about it. Inspirational posts. So this is where, for instance, you get quotes from other artists that you can draw upon, quotes from famous people, and then talk about it and say what it means for you, how it inspires you. So then you're going from their journey to your personal journey. And that helps inspire other people, and it helps them understand you better. Then there's Throwback Thursdays, Fun Fact Fridays. This is all meant to humanize you, to turn you into not just an account that posts cool art once in a while, but a human who happens to create great art. When you're looking for inspirational content ideas, ask yourself, how can I inspire people through what I do? How can I inspire people to be more creative? How can I inspire people to be happier? How can I inspire people to follow their path? How can I inspire people to be more motivated? How can I inspire people to be a better person? How can I inspire people to overcome challenges that I've overcome myself? So this is where your posts will have a lasting impact on people because you've made them feel something. And if you make people feel something, then they'll like you more. They'll remember you more. And they'll be more inclined to want to make a purchase from you one day or spread the word for you. It doesn't help you sell art per se right away, but it makes people hooked to your personality, and that's definitely something you want. Now on to the second pillar, educational content. Now this is where for a lot of people it gets a little difficult, but it's possible to do it, and here are some ways. So of course you have your behind the scenes shots, you got your studio shots. That's going to help show people how you work. It shows where the magic happens. And people are curious, people are a little voyeuristic. They like to see how the art all comes together. So make sure you show some of that in your feed, make sure you show some of that in your stories. Now you also have your FAQs, so whenever people ask you questions, whether it may be in your comments, in DMs, always ask yourself if there's a way to use those in captions. If one person is curious, then there's probably a bunch of people who have the same question and they're just not asking it. So try to see if there's a way for you to turn those questions into captions or stories. Now you can talk about your process. Your process is something you live every time you create, so you should be pretty familiar with it. You can talk about what inspires you. You can talk about what motivates you to create. You can also talk about art theory. First, you figure out what your art style is. For instance, abstract art could be still life, could be hyper-realism, could be acrylic pours. Then you research your art style. Read on it. Watch YouTube videos where people talk about it, find out what people are saying about it, find out what the latest trends are, find out what scholars are studying, find out what makes people curious about it. Now you can also head over to Quora.com, that's Quora, and it's a platform where people ask questions and other people answer those questions. But it tends to be a platform for scholars and people who are very interested and knowledgeable in a specific topic. So go there and search for specific keywords pertaining to what you do or what you want to talk about. You can search for questions pertaining to technique, to your art style, art news, anything that's relevant to what you want to talk about. You can go to Quora.com and research it. You can also go on Pinterest and do the same thing. You can find all types of content, and a simple search will display a whole array of results. Also, of course, you can use Google, but I got a really cool trick for you. Just write your art style in the search bar and look at what autocomplete will add. This will show you what's either relevant in your area or what people have been searching for with those specific keywords. So you can use not only the search results that Google searches will provide you, but you can use autocomplete to inspire you. And that's a really powerful tool. You can try to find online discussion forums where people are discussing your art style. You can also try to find Facebook groups or subreddits where people talk about your art style. Using these sources recurrently will help you come up with ways to educate your followers about what it is you do, and at the same time, you are also going to be educating yourself about your art style, which is not a bad thing per se. Alright, let's move on to the third content pillar, sales. Now, these posts are there to position your art as a product that people can buy. So, of course, you got your new products post. This is where you're informing people of newly finished art pieces. It's great to keep people informed of what you've been working on recently. Now, of course, you can also showcase your sold pieces. This is where you're actually informing people that your products actually sell, so it increases the sense of urgency and provides social validation. I suggest you keep your sold posts for your stories instead of putting them in your main Instagram grid. But here's a trick to get more content out of sold pieces, and then in a way where you can integrate them in your main feed. Whenever you sell a piece, always ask your customers to take pictures of your art in their space when they put it up. Or if you can get a great shot of your customer holding their new piece when you deliver it to them, that's always phenomenal. That's what we call reviews and testimonials. It provides exterior validation. This is really sweet because if you talk to your customers, they will be telling you what they enjoy about your art. And those are your selling points. So talk to your customers, follow up with them, get to know how they're enjoying your art, why they're enjoying your art, what it makes them feel. They're gonna be feeding you so much material. So still in the third content pillar, we got sneak peeks of your work that's upcoming or work in progress. This is great to pique people's interest. If you're posting it in your main feed though, make sure the picture makes it look really appealing. Sometimes when it's just starting out, it looks a little boring, so keep those to your stories. Otherwise, it's going to devalue your Instagram grid, so just, put those in your story feed. Finally, fourth pillar, the seasonal content. That's the content that you know for a fact will come back periodically, no matter what happens. I mean, we know exactly that January 1st is New Year's. We know for a fact that spring starts on March 21st. We know for a fact that Cinco de Mayo is on May the 5th. So those are all dates that come back periodically, and you can use those as vehicles for content and storytelling. And there's tons of holidays, recurrent events that you can use. There's international days, world days, national days. You can also celebrate the birthday or the day of passing of some of your favorite artists, musicians, famous people, leaders, politicians, thinkers who inspired you. We know for a fact that these dates are coming back every year, so might as well take full advantage of it. And if that's something that you're looking for help with, check out my post planner on sebduke.com. The link is in the show notes. Head over to the store section. You will see my Instagram monthly post planner there. So not only will it help you organize your content on a monthly basis, it also highlights a lot of important dates for you, so your fourth pillar is always covered. Plus, it comes with a lot of features that's going to help you come up with content ideas for the other content pillars. So, just to wrap up, inspirational content, educational content, sales content, and seasonal content. Those are the 4 pillars that you can use to position yourself and position your art on a regular basis. And I really hope that this helps you on your journey. That's what wraps it up for me today. If you enjoyed this episode of The Seb Duke Show, please make sure to tell your artist friends about it. This is how this show grows, when people like you share it with people like you. And if this is your first time listening, please don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And please also rate and review this podcast on your podcast app. That really helps. Alright, this is where I sign off. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you make today a great day. And please make sure your art gets seen by as many people as possible. Alright, I'll talk to you soon.